Today, we're talking about something that comes up all the time and that most people are not doing as often as they should be: photos. And more specifically, how often you should be updating the photos on your website. And I know what you might be thinking: my photos are fine. I had a brand shoot done. I listened to you. I had that branded shoot with a photographer. I'm good. And maybe you are good. But I want to make a case today for why updating your photos on a regular basis is one of the simplest things you can do to keep your website feeling current, active, and alive. And I have a story that I think is going to help articulate this. So let's get into it. Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B, web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the pod. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. If we haven't already met, I'll do my quick introduction. I'm Jenny and I own Jenny B Designs. And we are a brand and web design studio, and my passion is helping small business owners just like you design websites that attract their ideal clients and make them money. Today is going to start with a little bit of a story. I asked some of my colleagues in a networking group that I meet with to share with me struggles and what I could focus some of my upcoming podcast episodes on. So, this is the second story that I'm going to share with you, and it's about photos. So, my friend runs a business with her business partner. And when they launched, it was just the two of them, and they own a aesthetics salon, and they are both brunettes. They had a photo shoot, that branded photo shoot, took great photos, had great energy, had a really cohesive look and feel across the whole site. And they did this site, I would say, a little over a year ago. In the meantime, they brought on a new team member. She was awesome. She became a great fit for the business. And she had blonde hair. Now, here's the thing. They didn't get photos done right away. It's okay. Like, you get a new staff member, you don't know how it's going to go. And so you don't replace everything on your website right away. You take some time. So for a while, their website, I'd say over the past year or so, has shown two people, but their business has had three. And when someone comes in for an appointment or a meeting, they'd see three people, and they'd think, wait, who is this? It's a small but noticeable disconnect between what the website said and what the business actually was. So they decided to update the photos and add their team member. And what happened is really, really interesting. Suddenly, the website had more depth, more life. It felt fresher and more complete. The energy of the site changed in a really positive way just by adding a new person and getting updated photos done. And aesthetically, you had two brunettes, right? And then you had a blonde who was the third person that was working at the aesthetic studio. And it just changed the look and feel. It brought a new, fresh life and depth to the photos. And when they placed those photos into the website, they didn't change the design. They didn't do anything to the copy. They just updated the photos to reflect where the business actually was. And it made a huge difference. It was absolutely insane. So here's what I want you to think about. Your photos that you take, that brand shoot, it's a snapshot of your business at one specific moment in time. And businesses change, people change, styles change. Think about your own life over the last year or two. Has your hair changed? I know mine has. It used to be really long and then I chopped it off. And your style has probably changed, the way you put yourself together. Most of us do look a little bit different than we did a few years ago, and that's completely normal. But if your website has photos from 3 years ago, there can be a subtle disconnect when someone meets you in person or hops on that Zoom call and you look noticeably different than from your headshots. It's that emotional connection that someone makes when they come to your website, and then there's that disconnect when they meet you in real life. And this doesn't just pertain to people. Think about your space. If you have a physical location, if you've moved, if you've rearranged, repainted, if you're anything like me, I'm always rearranging my office. I cannot keep it in one spot. You want to keep things fresh. You do keep them fresh in real life. And the photos on your website, you need to keep those fresh too. If you have a portfolio or a gallery, for me, I have a portfolio of all the websites that I've done. If you haven't added anything new in a couple of years, you're not showing off your best and most current work. And all of these things, all of these photos on your website, they quietly affect how someone perceives your business before they even reach out to you. And perception matters a lot when someone is deciding whether they should trust you with their money. Now, how often should you update? I would say quarterly. And I give this answer a lot. If you listened last week, I gave you a quarterly list of updates just to do a quick check on for things that are happening on your site. Quick question. Are you frustrated with your website? Not sure why it isn't converting? I would love to help. That's why I offer my website coaching calls. In just 50 minutes, we'll uncover what's holding your site back and create a plan to fix it. Whether you need help with design, content, or strategy, I'll give you the clear steps to move forward. Click the link in the show notes to book your coaching call today, and let's make your website your best marketing tool. Now back to the episode. Times a year. Now, what does this mean? And don't panic. I'm not saying that you have to have a brand shoot every 3 months. That would be too much. But what I'm saying is that you should look at your website with fresh eyes and ask yourself, do these photos still feel like us every quarter? Do they still feel current? Is there anything that needs to be added or swapped out? And sometimes, more often than not, the answer is no, and you just move on. That's perfectly great. But sometimes you'll notice, oh yeah, I hired a new team member, Sally, and she's not on the website. Or you look at your headshot and you say, that I'm starting to feel dated. I had long hair and now I have shorter hair and I want to represent that online. These quarterly check-ins, they give you a rhythm, they give you a reason to look, and they keep small things from turning into big things. And you don't have to overhaul everything at once. I just did an overhaul a few months ago and I was so happy that I did it because yes, I had picked through and updated photos here and there, but it was starting to have a disconnect entirely. So I did an overhaul. But you don't have to. Quarterly is a great place, or twice a year, to just look it over and make it a habit and see how everything is represented online. Now, I want to talk about an SEO angle, and it might surprise you, but updating your photos isn't just good for how your site looks and feels. It's also good for search engine optimization. And here's what I mean by that. When you add a new image to your website, you are giving search engines new content to index, and search engines love the fresh content. They love to see that a website is active and being maintained. A site that never changes, you build it and just leave it, it feels stale to the search engines and people too. And here's the thing that a lot of people miss. The file names of your photos matter. When you save a photo on your phone, or if you had them done for you in a brand shoot, they're probably called something like IMG 4823 with all these numbers like .jpg. That tells search engines absolutely nothing about what that image is. But if you were to rename the file, for me to rename a file Jenny-Web Designer Massachusetts before I upload it, now that image is working for me. It's telling search engines exactly who you are, what you do. And when you update your photos and take an extra 30 seconds to rename your files before you upload them, it makes all the difference in the world. And I want you to think about the trickle-down effect. Your website, and this goes back, I think I did an episode 121, How to Refresh Your Brand Without Starting Over, all about my photos journey. But there's that trickle-down effect. When you update your website photos, that's a great time to look at the rest of your online presence too. Is your Google Business profile current? Google Business can let you add photos directly to that profile. And having updated quality images there can make a difference in how your listing looks or when someone finds you. And then, of course, it trickles down to your LinkedIn profile. Is your headshot current? Does it match the version that's on your website? Consistency across these platforms, it builds trust. And when someone finds you in LinkedIn, then goes to your website, you want them to feel like they're in the same place looking at the same business. So if you update your website photos, that's a good reminder to check everything else. Google Business, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever your platform shows up, your business shows up on those platforms. Now, a few tips for making it easier so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming. The first thing is you don't always need a professional photographer for every update. Your iPhones take really good photos and you can stage them. If you get a new team member, you don't have to wait for a full brand shoot to add them to your site. Grab a picture, maybe take one of them in action or get it in a clean, well-lit area with a simple background. You can always replace it later with something more polished, but it's more important to have something that represents your business at this point in time. And then if you do a brand shoot, batch your photos. Think ahead about what you need. You always need new headshots, but think about you need photos of your space, your process. If you have products, your team together, maybe you want to use some of your materials. The more you can capture in one section, the more you'll have to work with over the next several months. And remember, you don't have to add them all at the time when you get your photos back. Maybe you just pick, 10 from this photo shoot, and then you save the rest for another 6 months and update them then. And then third, keep a list of what needs to be updated. I love lists. It's kind of my jam. I have a note on my phone. And when I am doing my check-ins, I do them more than quarterly. But when I do a check-in, I think, oh, you know what? On this page, when I'm talking about my website audits, I would love to have a couple of updated images for this page. And so then when I decide that I'm going to have photos taken, or if I want to stage some photos, I can look at that list and know what I need to do. And finally, when you do update your photos, change those file names. Really clean and simple file names. When you get the photos back from your photographer, just change the file names then so that when you go to update them on your website, it's easy. And we talked about this, remember the SEO? It keeps your website organized and easier to manage. So bringing it all together, your photos are a snapshot of your business at one moment in time. Your business keeps moving forward. New team members, new looks, new work, new energy. Your website needs to reflect that. And a quarterly check-in could be all that it takes. You don't have to overhaul everything at once. Just look and ask yourself if things still feel current and make small updates that you do. Your website works for you around the clock. It's always there representing you, so make sure that your photos are telling the right story. And if you want a fresh eyes on your website or your photos, I offer website coaching calls. Together we can look at what's working, what's feeling dated, and what small changes could make a big difference to attract more ideal clients and make more money with your website. So thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next time. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.